Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rush Racing League. It is the second week of pre-season races. We're going to kick things off with Div 1 in Abu Dhabi, a track that is known for a lot of drama, specifically in 2021. But as we've seen in the season last season, it was a very fun track. DRS trains are probable, but the spicy overtakes are definitely fun to watch. My name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and alongside me here tonight is the one, the only SJ. How you doing tonight, mate?
Yeah, good mate. How are you? Looking forward to this one. I've actually been really looking forward to this one. Actually, getting underway to seeing how these guys are going to go. Obviously, this is the last preseason race for Division One. So yeah, I think this is going to be exciting. We've got some different drivers on the grid compared to last week. Attendance is a bit, shabby, but we've got to say Division One last season it didn't even turn up. So to get 14 on the grid is better than nothing. So yeah, looking forward to it, and I think we're going to see a bit of a different race compared to what we saw at Brazil, Chris.
And it's a much different track here too. It's more narrow because the big characteristic of Interlagos is that it is a very wide track with a good amount of elevation. This track is kind of the opposite in that regard. It's a very flat circuit, but also it's very narrow, and overtaking opportunities aren't as plentiful as they are when we go to Brazil. Pretty much, your main spots are really the hairpin right before the first DRS zone, and then the second wider hairpin after the second DRS zone, and maybe the start finish straight. Really, your best overtaking opportunities. I mean, we have seen people invent some really neat ones, but I think generally speaking, this is just going to be a race of just being in the right place at the right time. Now, granted, the last time we were here in Season 9, this was a 100% race. This time it is a 35% race, just like the earlier preseason races were at Interlagos. It's going to be a fast and furious race, only 20 laps, but we should see some absolute cinema in those 20 laps. Also, just like previously, it was a singular qualifying session, and that is the same case here tonight. One qualifying session will set the entirety of our 14-car grid. So no stage 1, no stage 2, just one session to rule them all. Any predictions here, SJ, or are there any drivers that we should really keep an eye on here tonight?
What day? Straight away, what day? Raced with Campbell Adams back in the day when he was known as PCHR, and he was a teammate for him in McLaren. So yeah, he's got some serious pace, and he'll be one to watch out for. Unless he's not played the game for quite a short period, we'll have to wait and see. Some of these other guys don't know, so this is going to be very interesting. Hot Top Bongo, love that name, mate. That is, do not change that name, that's class. Going to be interesting to see what he can do. And also Globodrip, Glob Drip. I've heard the name a lot. He follows us on the socials, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes as well. And also a few others as well. There's Minero coming back into a control and a new driver. JF7, really good to have him back. It's really interesting to see how he goes. One Truth as well. And also we've got Terence Husey. Husey hasn't obviously made any appearances yet, so this will be interesting. Watanabe, is that wheel up to where it needs to be at standards where it is. Maraki Don that's showing some serious pace as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. A bit of a mixture. There's a few Division 1s and a few Division 2s as well. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to see. And talking of that, even more exciting, we have the Alpine team principal. Let's have a quick chat with us before he gets ready for dun 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 on Friday, the draft night. So Rekus, I'll let you take it away.
All right, Brad. It's not gonna lie. It's still trying to adjust to you not being in a Mercedes. But any drivers that you have your eye on currently here in this race for Div One here, Brad?
Um, Obviously, Div 1 is an important division. the fastest drivers of the lot. Someone I'm keeping an eye on, I think they might be labelled as a Div 2 driver at the moment, is Gangster. I think he may have had a few problems earlier on last season with his driving style, and I think he cleaned that up a lot in the last month since him in the same division. And he obviously has the pace, so that's someone I'm keeping an eye on in this race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how drivers evolve from even in season, because I mean, you were talking about Gangster. We've seen his evolution as he developed through season 9. So, coming from a TP's perspective, what is like some things that you look for when you're kind of scouting out drivers that you may want to pick up in the draft?
Most importantly for me, it's probably chemistry. I want all my drivers to get along and stuff, so I think they have a good bond with their teammate. I hope that improves both of their racing, and good pace always helps as well. So keep an eye on those two things.
Indeed, yeah. So it's gonna be interesting because there's always a lot of things that you guys do tend to look for. Obviously, pace is going to be the big one. Consistency is going to be another one. And one that I think would be also how often that they have penalties against them. Obviously, you want to have drivers with good racecraft that stay out of trouble a lot, as Barakadon does take the fastest lap time at the moment with a 1:22.5. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Is there any other questions or comments or anything you'd like to say to the chat before we go ahead and, well, actually, before I pass it to SJ?
Nah, you pass it on to SJ.
All right, over to you.
Fred, this is obviously the last week. I'm a little bit disappointed with obviously attendance with 15 decline. I think they don't like pre-season, which is a bit of a shame. But do you know what you're going to do? Have you got a plan? Are you just waiting for the rest of the week to finish? I know obviously there's not long. Obviously Wednesday's the last race, and then Thursday, the Wednesday the lists go out. Thursday, one day of prep, and then Friday is the draft. So it's coming around quick. What's the plan and process of yourself and as the Alpine TP?
Probably get a feel of where drivers are at over the pre-season. I've been doing a bit of that this week. Probably continue this week, just see where they're at with their racing. Message about people who have probably got on a short list. Probably preparing, like to some degree. Even though lists aren't finalised, I think you can get somewhat of an idea where drivers may be or where they may stand in a division. So preparing for that is what I've been doing over this pre-season, probably last week and this week. We'll continue into that, and then Wednesday obviously we get the list, so we can chop that down even further.
Well, also for yourself as well. First time obviously being a TP in Rush. How excited are you for the whole season and taking and moulding the team to what you want it to be?
I'm pretty keen to get going. Hopefully I can have a good impact in Alpine and in the league. So hoping that it's a good season, a strong season, and I think the prep I do will show that, and then the drivers I pick up will do the rest of the job.
Yeah, and that's going to be obviously the biggest thing as well, and gonna be exciting. Well, I'm buzzing. I'm looking forward to it. I actually cannot wait for this to be all over. It has been a stressful few weeks. We've been doing this day in, day out, every day, prepping drivers, planning drivers. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But no, I wish you all the best for the rest of the week in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And yeah, all the best on Friday night.
Thank you, SJ. Thank you, Wreckers. See ya.
See you, man.
It's always
How
interesting.
do you feel Alpine are going to go? Sorry, I didn't mean you were saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go on.
I was just gonna say it'll be interesting to kind of see how the draft is going to go, and it's also really interesting to hear from the TPs themselves, because behind every team you have those managers. You have the coach, like in any sport really, whether it's football, whether it's soccer, whether it's hockey, baseball, you name it. You always have those coaches, you have the people behind the team, you always see the drivers out on track, but the people behind the scenes, it's always a really good time to get like a good perspective from them, just to kind of get their thoughts, how they anticipate on prepping for the season, especially like you said, we're in the last week of preseason, only 5 preseason races to go, as Butt Day does have a bit of a lockup going into the chicane. But yeah, it should be an interesting season here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. 5 divs instead of 6, so we should see more condensed but more active grids. Overall, I am looking forward to next season, or this season, I should say.
Less work. Less work for me and you to do as well, which is going to be good. But obviously, talking to the team principals, obviously some of them, just want to get it underway. I think a lot of leagues have already done their drafts and formulated, have got a plan and ready to go. We do start pretty quick though after the draft. Did you believe that could cause a bit of an unbalance for some teams? They've only got literally the draft and the next day it's race day. Do you think that could be a problem for some team principals?
There's always going to be teething periods for pretty much anything. Like, I mean, you go to a new school, you're going to have teething periods. It takes a while to get kind of used to things anyway. You start a new job. And there's a lot of things too. Like, anytime you start something new, there's always going to be an adjustment period. But with this, it's more like you just kind of get thrown straight into the deep end. Instead of having a little bit of time to adjust. So it's really just going to be the case of who can adapt the quickest. I think that's going to set the order pretty early on, is who can adapt to the situation the quickest, who can adapt to the team culture. And that's something that you're going to need. You're going to want to hit the ground running. Now, granted, we have seen recoveries come through mid-season. I mean, we saw with Alpine and Williams back in Season 9. We saw how those teams had kind of a rough go of things at the beginning, and then they just gradually got better. I mean, Williams in particular was just kind of in the middle of the no man's land, struggling on all accounts, and then they ended up going back to firing on all cylinders. But we also can't understate Alpine. Alpine had a kind of less talked about but similar resurgence in season, so it may be tougher at the get-go, but I think in general, once they actually do get that teething period kind of done, once everything is kind of situated and the drivers and teams are kind of more familiar with how each other operate, then, ooh, that's a bit of a rough one for Gangster. Just turned it a bit too wide for the pit entry and actually knocked off a bit of his end plate. But back to my original point, it may be rougher at the get-go, but I think all the issues will be ironed out over the course of the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think suspense. Obviously on Friday night is a big night for all these team principals and some of the new guys as well. And this gives them an opportunity. I know. I'm seeing from outside looking in that the guys don't like pre-season. They probably don't think it's important and such, but it is. It's a very important stage of team principal, seeing what you can do, what you're capable of, because some of these drivers that are here could actually outclass some of the drivers that have been here for a long period of time, and that's going to be the spicy bit of the draft. These guys, they don't get to pick from one division. It's across the board. So it's so much more strategic than just picking a driver from each division, and some team principals are going to have their focus, especially Ferrari. Well, we probably know where they're going to go first, and I would probably be a bit silly if they weren't going to do what I think they're going to do. I think Jono is going to get picked one as well for Ferrari, hands down. He's drove with them, he won the championship with them, he's got an opportunity to defend it. He's looking very good. He's very, very good in the pre-season, in the showcase races. So it's going to be very interesting to see what team principal goes where are they going to start first? Do they start the lower division? Do they start in the middle? Do they look for the quickest? Do they look for the one that that's going to score them consecutive points? It's so much it's an unknown factor, because the TPs have obviously got their favourites, 100%, but you just don't know, because their favourites could get picked before the TP that really wants the driver. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking really forward to it. I think it's going to be very good. I think it's going to be a good night. And these pre-season races could make or break an opportunity of a driver getting drafted.
Yeah, exactly that. And another thing that we also got to kind of talk about as well is that preseason. I feel like preseason is more important, like in the minds anyway. I think it's equally important for all drivers, but I think the drivers who will kind of have more value when it comes to preseason are going to be the new faces, like Glob Drip, Pop Top Bongo, drivers like that. Where this could be this is potentially the first chance at Rush or even elite racing in general. Because sometimes some drivers come to Rush as their first league. So kind of just to see where they stack up against the rest of the drivers that have been here for a bit and stuff like that. So I think preseason drivers, it really just depends on your outlook. Because if you feel confident, like, yeah, I kind of know already where I sit, then obviously you're not going to be as keen to, try as hard, for the lack of a better phrase, during preseason. But for these newer drivers who may be making their league debut, they want to start. It's like when you go start a new job, you obviously want to make the best impression possible with your potential employer. So, especially for these new guys, I think that's kind of their mindset that they have here. It's just they want to make good impressions with the TPs, and they want to secure a seat, which is, I mean, it's a good morale booster, honestly. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. Draft night will be interesting. It's very like NFL style. I don't know. I know you know more about the European football compared to me. I don't know if they ever do any kind of draft similar to the American NFL, but it does spice up the grid quite a bit.
It's a unique way of doing it. We've done it so many times across the board with its one division, and I thought we wanted to make it a little bit more difficult, and to throw even more difficult in. We are going to change the countdown. So instead of having 60 seconds last season for the draft, you're going to have 40 seconds. So it's going to put even more pressure on the guys as well, which is it's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a new way we've done things. A lot of people wanted a draft. A lot of people wanted to try and keep the same drivers. Unfortunately, that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to just give it a completely brand new scale across the board with these new TPs, so they've got an opportunity to pick new drivers. But we're always looking to change things up, always looking to spice it up and change things as well. 26 is, we've got no idea when that's going to be dropping. We'll find out more on the 4th of March, so we'll have to wait and see. But no, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it's going to be a great night. And yeah, the one thing that I really want to see is I want to see some of the unknown drivers cause a storm. The likes of Jonos and the Fat Cats and the Wontons and the Didos. We know those drivers. But the likes of like Pop Top Bongo tonight, 21.940, taking pole position. What's he going to do? What's Pop Day going to do? What's these other guys going to do? And as we've said so many times, this is the opportunity for you to change from reserve to full-time. If you want to give it a go and you want to take it full-time, then let us know, because after tonight and on Wednesday it is final. The list will be final. We will not be changing, and don't forget, you cannot be a full-time driver until round 7, so that's 7 weeks to wait to be full-time again. So don't miss out the opportunity. If you want the full-time seat, let us know. We will make it happen, and we'll get you in that draft. If you are not full-time, you are not eligible, and you're not eligible for the prize pool or the draft. That is how it works. So, yeah, fingers crossed we may get some changes, or we'll just run with what we've got, which is still going to be spicy, and I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah. The thing I want to ask you, though, Rekus, I know we've talked a little bit about this tonight with missing some of the quality, is who's your money on? Do you think Jono's going to go back-to-back, or do you think he's going to have it difficult this season with Fat Cat?
That's always a tricky one to kind of predict. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to be easy either way as we wrap up qualifying here. Only 2 more cars left on a lap being Bot Day and JDI. I certainly don't think it's impossible for Jono, but I think it will be a bit difficult. Everybody in that division is going to make him work for it, not just Fat Cat. I think everybody is going to try to make Jono kind of work for it here. But if he does go back to Ferrari, then that's going to make things a bit easier because we were talking earlier about that teething period. He's not going to have to go through that teething period because he's already familiar with Ferrari and he's familiar with how things work. As we go through our qualifying results here, you got Pop Top Bongo in P1, a tenth of a second ahead of JDI. Then it is Meraki Don, Bot Day, Ozzy Monero, The One Truth, Jerabut, Glob Drip, Wintercat, Gangster, Husey, Terrence, Watanabe, Controlin, and then Andre coming in at the last moment, unable to set a lap. But yeah, what's your prediction on this, SJ? Because honestly, I think it could really go either way, but we'll just have to see how the season plays out.
I don't know. We are going to have another interview as well, which is really, really good because this person has been trying to get in touch with. I really don't know. I think Jono has got some serious potential. You know, it'd be good for him to get the, get the W again. I don't think many people have gone back to back, but. Now, these guys have improved. Some of these guys have gone from Division 4 to Division 2. You know, that they're improving all the time. So I don't know. If Fat Cat doesn't miss any races, he is taking on a role as a TP. So it's going to be very interesting to see who he drafts and who wants to drive with him. But I don't know. I really don't know. And if you look at some of the preseason races and some of the showcase races we've done, it's not been like absolutely 20 seconds out front. It's been very close, you know, so you're probably going to have that top 4 which is going to be the battle, and then it's about everyone else being a mystery, you know, so, and that mystery is going to be great because you just don't know, and if those two have a little bit of a kerfuffle, you know, then yeah, gonna be really, really exciting. I really can't say. On this one I don't know, but if I was to say, it would be Fat Cat or Jono this season. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll just have to definitely wait and see. I mean, that's the one beauty of starting a new season. Even though, granted, we don't have the new regulations yet, but it's always going to be just a new feel, a fresh slate. Everybody is going to be in contention, but here we go. We're about to kick off the first preseason race at Abu Dhabi. And it is lights out and away we go. We got some drivers already trying to jockey for position. Marakidon, the NA champion. Oh, there's big drama, big contact there. Bate just gets spun around, gets punted on the very first lap. I think he had a little bit of contact there. As we do have some changes for the lead here. Pop Top now trying to stick it around the first hairpin. JDI is going to try to hold on, and it's going to be a drag race. The thing about taking that outside line, you do get a bit of an advantage coming out of the corner, but we will see. But it looks like it's going to be the Aston Martin winning the drag race. Who's going to be braver on the brakes? Inside becomes the outside, vice versa. A bit of contact there between JDI and Pop Top. These guys are absolutely going to 3 wide, going down towards the hairpin. Marakidon trying to get 2 for the price of 1. He's going to stick it around, and there's contact again. JDI getting spun around there, and down through the order he goes. Stopping there. I think he was trying to hope for a safety car, but in the end, just chaos unfolding in lap 1 here, SJ.
Yeah, definitely. You could see FST Pop Top Bongo, really going for it there and having a little bit of a touch there on, I think it was Hot Day early on in the JF7, putting that to the back as well. So Binton and JF7 not having the best of starts. Marky Don, though, having an absolute blasting start there. He's got 1 second out front at the moment, but Globe Trip is not that far behind, and a really good start there. It's actually spiced things up. It's changed the complete order of where it started. So if you look at position changes, look at that. You've got Marakidon up 2, Globe Trip up 6, One Truth up 3, Ozymandiano up in 1 spot. Everyone has moved up. Bot Day, JF7 and Pop Top Bongo all the way down. So they are the 3 guys that have missed out at the moment, and it's really good to see. Well, it's not good to see those guys drop down, but it's good to see that the order's completely changed. So Mareki Dawn, 1.2 seconds out in front. He is flying. It looks like One Truth and Glob Trip are having a nice little battle there. We've got Andre that has got a 3-second time penalty. Did get into the lobby earlier on, which is really good to see. Didn't do any quality, but did get in, so that is taking it down to 15, but not a good start there for a few of the guys. Let's just quickly take this lap on board with Isaac and Nero, and then we'll jump on board with an interview of the Red Bull team principal, which we should have interviewed a couple of weeks back, but due to a few things going on in his personal life, he had to drop out. So it's really going to be good to have a chat, because this is a man I think is going to be one to watch out for this season. So, Rickers, do you want me to take this one away first, or?
Yeah, you can go ahead and take this one away.
Alright, Ivar, welcome to pre-season of Division 1, and we've just lost Andre there. He's just flying into the pits, not the best of starts there. Could be a perfect setup, but unfortunate. Ivar, welcome. Great to have you on board. Yeah, tell us, got loads to go. Draft day Friday. How are you feeling, my friend?
Quite stressful.
Just laid it there very simple. Elaborate. Like, this is the chance, last season, jumped in. Harold Terry's done a great job, took it over. But this time you're going to be doing it from start to finish, and you know what you can do, you know your capabilities, you know what drivers you're after. So, what's going to be different?
Sorry to cut you guys off. Just a very aggressive dive from Ozzy and Nero on the Galadriel. Bit of contact caused Ozzy 2 positions, and I'll let you guys back at it.
Yeah, what's the difference between season 1 and season 2?
Obviously, I get the express a full season of what I can do. Obviously, I was closing the gap to Aston throughout season 9, but there was only 6 races, so not much I actually could do. But with a full season, let's see what I can do.
Yeah. Let's see what you can do, and you've been one to watch out for. And what do Red Bull need? What do you want in your team? Because obviously, a few of these Division 1 drivers you may not have heard of. Some of them, unfortunately, haven't done pre-season, which makes it a little bit difficult for yourself. But you've obviously probably done your due diligence. What are you after this season? Are you after points? Are you after a championship winner? Like, what is Red Bull after this season?
Somebody who likes to practice, really. It's just more about, it's not about the fact that you're slow, it's the fact that you can improve, and if you are willing to improve, then I'm willing to take you on board.
Well, that's I'm really probably don't have any more questions from that, but yeah, Rickers, I'll leave it with you. But before I do, Arthur, all the best for the rest of the few days that we've got left, and hopefully we get to see you on track tomorrow night. And yeah, good luck, and I'll speak to you on Friday.
Yeah, definitely, man. Everybody enjoy the race. I will be watching, so don't mess around too much.
Alright, so
Apart
the
from
question,
that,
the only question I have for you, Advar, before we go ahead and let you go is, has there
yeah.
been any driver through the course of the preseason that has really piqued your interest and that you might sign on, or trying to keep that all a secret for the draft night?
Really trying to get me to spill my secrets. Of course, there's one driver I've been looking at very, very particularly. But, I'm not going to share anything. That just ruins the spirit of the game.
I like it. Bringing a bit of intrigue to what's already going to be a mystery of the season anyway, so you'll love to hear it. All right, well, thank you so much for your time here. Best of luck in the draft, and enjoy the night.
You too, and everybody else watching.
He's keeping his Wears very, very close to his chest there. If you are joined in with us, thank you very much for jumping in. Thank you very much for the big shout outs and the big follows as well. Look at coaches Jordan Luzaya, Control and Brian, and West Coast Sim Racing. Thank you very much for the guys. I would definitely agree that you guys are West Coast. Hence the name, but thank you very much for the follow. We have Mareki Don leading the way, P1, 1.8 seconds in that kick, looking very good. Is this man going to go full time? That's the question. If he can set that alarm, which looks like he has done, we may see him. He's looking very good. The question is, will he be full time? We'll have to wait and see. One Truth in at P2 at the moment, a double Ferrari, P2 and P3. Lamb will be over the moon with this, and we will be hearing from Lamb tomorrow night, where he will be introduced by the new commentator, Snowy. So, yeah, going to be very, very excited. And we do have a new commentator jumping on board as well, which is great to see as well. So, even better. So it makes that job a little more easier, I guess. We don't have to just absolutely obliterate our voices every week, which is good. Glob Trip in P4 in the Alpine. We've got Ozymandias in P5. In a little bit of a DRS train there between Glob Trip and Ozymandias, as Glob Trip getting very, very close to Cherubot in that P3 spot. We've then got Gangster in that P6. Winter Cat in P7 in that lovely, gorgeous new livery for Red Bull. Don't forget, you're going to have the new podium pass as well, so you're going to get the new liveries for the two new cars. I think it's Kick and I think it's the other Red Bull as well, actually. And you've then got Terrence in P8, who's in P9 in that lovely pink livery for VCARB. Symphonic will be watching in, I'm sure of it. Bot Day in at P10. I can definitely tell this man has not done a fair bit of racing, so interesting to see there. Watanabe into the pits. On lap 7 in the Aston Martin, the TP of Aston Martin, and Top Bongo, the newer driver, to the race family as well in the McLaren JF7 in that Aston Martin. We've lost control in very early on, and also Andre as well. But 13 guys left, and currently at the moment it's looking like a little bit of a two-horse race between One Truth and Meraki, but there is a lot going on behind Wreckers with Cherubot, Ozymandias and Globtrip, but Globtrip does have those penalties at the moment, which is really going to hurt him in this race.
Yeah, 100% there. He's going to have to try to work his way to get rid of those penalties. I mean, we have seen drivers kind of do it before. We have seen drivers just drive the wheels off their car to the point where the penalties just become moot, essentially, as now we do see some very strong battling here. Now, Cherubot's in a kind of an unfortunate position. He's trying to chase down Globdrip, but Ozymandias is just pretty much hogging up all of his mirrors. So he's got to kind of have one eye facing forward and the other eye pretty much right in the back of his head, because he's got two cars, one in front that he's trying to chase down and another one is trying to chase him down. But now he's going to focus on the pit stop, try to get that nice and neat, as the field does get shifted around a bit as drivers start to make their pit stops. Now, Marakidon, if for those of you who have watched the NAEU series, you'll know that Marakidon is a reigning champion over there at NAEU. He practically dominated the season along with a driver named Tai Tai. So you might see both of these guys in the NAEU series when that kicks off. I think preseason is kicking off next week. Or actually, no, I think it's a little later today, actually. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. You'll have Gamehawk as your commentator for that race. Very awesome American man like myself. It was fun commentating with him last season. Looking forward to doing it again. But Marakidon has done very good in NA. See if he can carry that over to EU, because clearly he's got the pace and he's not afraid to show it in that kick Sauber.
Definitely, and that is back tomorrow morning. First pre-season of the season for the NA as well at Bahrain. So it's going to be really exciting, because the grid is looking very, very especially the first grid. There is obviously two grids at the moment, looking at it. Obviously just waiting on a few times for a few others. But that NA grid is looking, especially that first grid. That's looking quite competitive. A few PSGL drivers in there as well, which is really good to see, and a few WORs. So yeah, it's going to be. I don't think Marecki's going to have it easy this season in that NA grid. So yeah, this is why he's probably trying to give as much practice as he can in these pre-season races as well. He is a reserve driver though in the OCE league, so you know. And we have got a new rule this season, because I don't know if you know, NA and EU drivers can race in OCE, but they have to do 3 reserve program races. Uzi is out of this race. He has binned it. And that's brought out the safety car. So what Marecki Dillon has just done has just all been undone as well, which gives a massive opportunity to Botte, Wintercat, and the rest of the grid. So yeah, really unfortunate there for Uzi, and maybe not a good idea to take off TC on a race like this. But let's go back to what we were saying. Situation is, NA and EU drivers can race in the OCE if they want. They have to ask, obviously, the directors, and they have got to do 3 races on the reserve program without lag, obviously, which is, you know, as we do know, the ping between EU and Australian servers is not the best. American servers not the worst. We've got a lot of, obviously, American drivers that still race in the OCE. So they will still have the opportunity to as well, but that is the new system next season. So you won't see that many drivers from the EU racing on the grids as well for a first. So something that we've decided. Lag was a problem, caused a lot of problems of incidents, and yes, we have lost some fantastic drivers. Yeah, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good to have racing back this weekend for pre-season, and then yeah, next week is going to be where it all starts, Rikus.
Yeah, and it actually has provided some really awesome moments, a lot of chaotic races. The pre-season race in Canada that we did for NAEU was a very chaotic race. Trying to remember, I feel like there's some other really chaotic ones. I think Qatar was also pretty hectic as well, if my memory serves me correctly. Lots of good racing, and for those of you guys who are on like the American/European time zones, like myself, if you don't, I mean, granted, if you don't want to watch a race at 4 a.m., I get it. There's another race that will be live at better time zones, so it will be about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. Unfortunately, I will have to miss that race because I will be at work, but nevertheless, it should still be a fun time for everybody involved. And of course, there's always the VODs you can go back and watch, and those will be up on the Rush Racing YouTube, so be sure to go check that out. If you missed any of these races and you want to check them out after the fact, then you can go ahead and do so. But the current state of play, a lot of drivers have pit. Majority of the field has made their pit stop here under the safety cars. So Marakadon has kind of reestablished his lead, although it's not the massive 5-second gap that it was earlier on. And we're about to start the second half of the race here under safety cars, so it'll be 10 to go. Once they cross the line here, 10 to go in this Grand Prix. Should be a fun one here. Still another lap at least under the safety car. We should get going around lap 12, probably lap 13 at the latest. And now Watanabe has made a pit stop. So everybody, I think, has actually made a pit stop under the safety car with the exception of Jerabot and One Truth. So I think the two Ferraris are the only ones who did not make pit stops at this time. The nice thing about the safety car, though, is that you do get a much cheaper pit stop. The field is slowed down. You only lose about 10 to 12 seconds, roughly, compared to the usual 20-something that you would typically lose in a regular race period. So, should be fun. We see drivers kind of generate as much heat as they can, especially those drivers who are on the hard tires. They do take a while to get up to temp. The heat will expand the hard rubber compound to try to get as much grip as humanly possible. And we will see. Hopefully we do get the safety car in this lap. because I know these guys, simply put, they just want to get back to racing. And sure enough, we spoke it into existence. Safety car in this lap. So Marakidon will lead us to green. He's going to try to back up the pack a little bit. Try to go ahead and make sure everybody else has cooler tires than him. So he wants to get the best launch humanly possible. We know Marakidon is a quick driver. Lots of, oh, what has happened here to Wintercat? Oh, we have a spin. Once with a spun, actually. And I think Winter might have just spun with him. So, yeah, and that's once an ABS had to kind of come to a stop to let these drivers kind of pass him. So, interesting scenes under the safety car. Wintercat is missing a good chunk of his front wing. And now, without any further ado, we wait for Marakidon to go ahead and kick it into high gear. And, oh, a drive-through penalty for Wintercat. Oh, he just got caught up by the Delta. And we are back racing on lap number 12 out of 20. Wintercat One Truth coming into the pits. And that is a unfortunate race for them. But for everybody else, a very clean getaway coming down to the first hairpin. And I do see that Botte is going to try to make a move on to Terrence, and that move will be successful. And aside from the weird incident between One Truth and Wintercat, a pretty clean restart here in Abu Dhabi, SJ.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, Marakidon obviously having that lead disappear at the moment. Him at the moment. He's got Globdrip in that DRS, but does have that 3-second time penalty. Jarabot in that third position. Gangster in that P4 being hounded by Botte in that P5 as well, trying to go for a move there. Hards versus mediums as well. So interesting strap there for Botte. He's going to have a lot more speed on those mediums. Is he going to cause more problems? Hey, that's side by side. Oh, nice little bit of battle in there between Botte and Gangster. He's trying to get the move done. And you've also got Hot Top Bingo trying to get involved as well. Lots of battle going on here for that P5, P4 and P6 move as Botte gets the job done. Up into P4. Now he's going to hold into Jarabot in that third position at the moment. He's just staying in with that DRS at the moment on those hard compound tyres, as we're seeing someone going very, very wide and off track there. Everything is all going on. Gangster's gone from P5 all the way down to P9 as well, dropping like a fly at the moment. He's now got Terrence right behind him, ready to make a move as well. One Trip is into the pits in P11, not having the best of nights, and Eva is Wintercat Eva, and I reckon we're going to see 2 retirements here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Thank you very much for the follow, Olsey32. Hope you are enjoying the stream, my friend, and yeah, enjoy. Marakidon still leading the way though, 4.5 tenths out in front, lap 13 out of 20, Globdrip in P2 with that penalty, really trying to hound him on. We've then got Pop Top Bingo and Botte going side by side, hards versus mediums. Botte holds on, but Pop Top comes back at him on the right hand side and gets the better grip and the better traction, and he's into P4, but Botte's going to come back at him. Tries to go for a switch, doesn't get it there. You can see the car did not want to turn. They're going very wide onto that blue line as well. Not too far, you can give that 3 seconds. Very easy to get track limits there. And One Trip has finished up and called it a night. Really unfortunate there for him. But nice little battles going on at the moment. Question is Ozzy Minero going to get involved in this as well? Looks like he is. So is JF7, and so is Walton. Gangster 1 second back now on those hards. Can't get those hards up to 10th at the moment, and he's fallen way down the pecking order from P5 down to P9. We do have a prediction in as well. 1 minute to go. What division is going to be the best, we think, this season? What about you, Rekus? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Based on what I've seen, I might have to say Div 2, but I think it's going to be a really interesting season in all the divisions. I think Div 2 might be the best, but not by a massive margin. I think Div 3 is going to be also some pretty stiff competition as well. Div 5 should be interesting as well because we are condensing Div 5 and Div 6 from last season. So Div 5 should be a lot of fun to watch. I think all the divisions are actually going to be fun to watch. Personal bias, I want to say NAEU is going to be the best division, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see how it goes. But yeah, I think all the divisions are going to be pretty fun. I think Div 2 is going to be the main one, but we'll just kind of have to see because we do have a mix of Div 1 and Div 2 here tonight. As Watanabe is out, and then there were 10 drivers left in the session. This has practically become an endurance race of who could just survive the 20 laps here in Abu Dhabi, as we are about 5.5 laps away from the end of the Grand Prix. The field has spread out quite a bit. We do have Pop Top Bongo trying to go ahead and get closer to Jerry Bott. A move being made for Ozzy Manero on the bot day just before the chicane. And he's got that move done and dusted. But is it going to be a retake attempt here from bot day? He's going to go ahead and try to get the retake. But he does have JDI right behind. JDI shook for a move. But unfortunately, bot day will not be shaken. And he is going to go ahead and try to line up another shot. It's difficult to pass through most of Sector 3, so pretty much just kind of use this as a chance to get set up and ready for Sector 1, where the overtaking opportunities do become more plentiful. So we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. He's going to go ahead and, oh, bit of a snap, and I think somebody went very wide. I think Gangster actually went very wide. Somebody, I think, went wide, unless my eyes are just going to play tricks on me. Maybe a bit of a mirage that I'm seeing from the desert heat. But 5 laps to go. Very spicy battle here between Ozzy Manero, Bate, and JDI. All scrapping for position. Who's going to get it done into hairpin? They will follow suit just through the hairpin. And then they're going to go ahead and fire things up. Turning on the DRS, and now Ozzy is going to be in a bit of trouble, as he does have 2 very hungry piranhas with DRS. Which one's going to strike first? The answer is Bate. He's going to try to hold it on into the hairpin, or into the chicane. Actually, Ozzy Manero actually did win out of that battle. He's got both drivers still right behind. Another DRS zone, another attempt here from Bate, and he's going to try to send it around the outside. He's going to get it. The outside line on the hairpin, seeming pretty strong here, actually.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of damage on that front. He's gone off track a few times. That front left is really hurting. Tripping another pedal as well in those Alpines. Yeah, we obviously had Brett in there earlier. He is trying to pull in Mareki Don, but does have that 6-second time penalty now, which is really going to hurt. And Pop Top Bongo as well is just basically just going to stay behind him, use him for the DRS, and he will get that P2 spot there as well. But yeah, interesting race for some of these guys. Obviously, Wintercat not having the best of nights, down there 52 seconds back from Terrence. You've got Terrence and Gangster, but we've still got to remember some of these guys are Division 2, not Division 1. So interesting to see. But Chabot having a fantastic night, 1.2 seconds back, using the DRS, just keeping himself, you know, out of the way. Gangster getting himself a 3-second time penalty down there in P8. And we're seeing a nice little battle going on here between Globdrip and Pop Top Bongo. So Pop Top Bongo now, is he going to be able to crawl in Mareki Don within 4 laps? That's going to be the question. 2.8 seconds back. Does he work with Globdrip, or do they battle each other? No, they're going to work with each other and try and pull Mareki Don in. 2.6. Keep an eye out on that time, Rekus. 2.6, 17 laps over 20.
Indeed, yeah, we're approaching the final 3 laps of the Grand Prix here. So it's going to be interesting to see. The thing that I'm curious about is, it's a bit of a stretch, but there may be a situation where Wintercat has he makes another mistake, has another error, and then there's traffic that Marakidon, Globdrip, Pop Top, and the other drivers will have to potentially try to negotiate with. And to quote a good friend of mine, traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. So you know that sometimes if you run into traffic, it could really make or break your Grand Prix, especially when you're down to the final 3 laps. Pop Top having to lock it up just a bit just before the very acute left-hander before getting onto the first DRS zone. He is going to have the DRS, and there's going to be no fight from Globdrip. The two are going to work together and try to kind of negotiate things and try to catch up to Marathon, but it's not actually working really. So I think now they've just kind of decided to switch to fight mode at this point, as now Marathon is about 3 seconds away from Globdrip, and we're gonna see if these guys can continue to fight and how things are gonna settle. And we're seeing here that it's going to be a close battle. Monero and JDI, though, a bit further back, having a bit of a scrap there. There's going to be a send up the inside from JDI. We have seen moves in that very tricky third sector end up in tears. But in this case, it is going to be tears of joy for JDI as he has finally got past Ozzy Monero, but Bate has broken DRS. So this is going to be a beautiful 4-way fight here as we enter the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. 2 to go here in this race. It's been a blast so far watching these guys absolutely fight it out. And yeah, you just gotta stick with it. Just try to do your best, try to close in the gaps where you can. Jumping back up here, Pop Top now. This is really just gonna be a fight now. I don't think these guys are really gonna work together at this point. They want to try to set themselves up as best as they can for the final lap, lap 20 out of 20. And now we're going to see here as Globdrip trying to go ahead and get into P2, and that he will do. But if Globdrip isn't careful, he's got 3 seconds of pens, so he is actually going to end up behind JerryBot potentially. So that could be a bit of a scary moment for him. Maybe he will want to try to work with Pop Top just so he can clear JerryBot and at least stay within the podium positions. Good fights happening up and down the field as we do begin the final lap of the Grand Prix here, and a bit of drama between Terrence Gangster and JDI. A bit of drama indeed involving these guys, as now Pop Top Bongo is going to go ahead and try to make his way and try to close things out. They have actually closed the gap quite a bit to Marathon, but it's not quite enough. It's still about 2.5 seconds roughly. They will try to work together. JerryBot now just out of that 3-second range to potentially grab a podium for Ferrari here in the preseason Abu Dhabi. And Pop Top is going to try to stick it around the outside. That he will. Nice and easy as you like it. And now these guys are going to go ahead and just try to do this dance all over again. The main thing is that Globdrip wants to pull away. He will get P3 if the race finishes as it is at the moment. He's going to try to send one up the inside. Pop Top will get the P2 done on just based on the penalties, but he's a racing driver. He wants to get this done on track. Are we going to see any other battles? Well, one thing I know that we will see is a driver who has dominated the NAEU League, has come to show his dominance here in OC. He's got one more corner left to make, and Marathon wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He will take P1, Pop Top will take P2, Globdrip P3. Actually, no, JerryBot will get it at the last moment, and he will jump up into P3. A bunch of penalties coming through last moment, and wow. Oh, it's a big moment of drama here at the end.
Absolute drama at the line. And Wintercat will finish in P10 and get that last point if we were doing points. But an interesting night there, up and down. Obviously Marathon, showing his consistency through the top. It changed very, very quickly. We saw quick retirements very early on. But yeah, some good battles as well. And Popped Up Bongo is going to be probably one to watch out for. He seems to seriously have some pace. He is 35%, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And Globtrip, if you can get those pens down, he's going to be one to watch out for as well. And I think if Bot Day can just get into the groove, he'll be one to watch out for as well. But yeah, some of these guys unfortunately will not be racing against each other again because they're in a different division. So yeah, an interesting night for so some interesting drivers there that did outshine, which was good to see. Driver of the day does go to, just waiting for this communicating online services to disappear, to Terence, so congratulations. As this season, driver of the day will be going back to the game. It will not be decided by us as commentators. Cleanest driver is still going to be 1 point, so that will still be going ahead. But driver of the day will be going to the game. So whatever the game decides, that is what driver of the day is. But for your last pre-season race for Division 1 combined with Division 2, Maraki Dawn leads the way, gets the fastest lap, so he gets the double points there, gets the win, and he gets the fastest lap. Pop Top Bongo taking P2. Geraldbot taking P3. A very good drive from him, showing that consistency and just keeping out the way of drama. Globtrip, unfortunately, dropping down into P4 with those pens. Ozzy Minero, Bot Day, Terence Gangster, JF7, and Wintercat are your top 10. Wantanari, One Truth, Whoosy, Controlling, Andre, all DNF. And Rekus, that is it. Thank you very much, as always. And any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, this was a fantastic preseason race here at Abu Dhabi. I did say at the beginning that Abu Dhabi could go either way. It could either be a very fun race or a DRS train central, and we got the former. Very good race, lots of good battles, and it is just a mild preview of what Season 10 is going to be like. We still do have 4 more preseason races for the remaining divisions, so be sure to tune into those. And that's all I got to say. Back to you, SJ.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have the draft order on the screen?
I can switch that up real quick.
Just
there it
get
is.
that back up one more time. Just mute that. So if you are joining us and you haven't joined us and you haven't seen this, this is your draft order for Friday night. Ferrari taking out P1, then Mercedes, then McLaren, Williams, Vika, Kick, which will be changed after the DLC drops to Audi. Then we will have Red Bull, then we will have Alpine, then we will have Aston, then we will have Haas, and then next season we will have Cadillac on the draft order as well. But yeah, that's a long way away. Then it's reverse order, so then it goes Haas, Aston, Alpine, Red Bull, Kick, VCAB, Williams, McLaren, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Keep an eye out for that draft order. That will be going out from all of the rest of the streams for the rest of the week from Division 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in pre-season. Thank you very much to all drivers as well, and all 2 Division 2 drivers that have stepped up. Thank you very much to all the Division 1 drivers as well. Pre-season is obviously tough. We know it's just straight after the Christmas holidays, and some of you are still on holiday. We have lost a lot of drivers due to being on holiday. So I hope they've had a great holiday and are getting ready for some racing. Tomorrow night, you will be joined by myself and Snowy for Division 2. So you do not want to miss that. And yeah, Rekus, I will let you close it out.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up here in Abu Dhabi for week 2 of the preseason races. I want to thank our sponsors, Sim Racing Center, SimLab, Pagan Advanced Simulation, and AI369. Most importantly, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning on in tonight. Thank you guys in the Twitch chat. You guys have been absolutely awesome. If it is your first time, don't make it last. Drop a follow. We'll be back racing with 4 more divisions. We have divs 2 through 5 coming up throughout the week, and you don't want to miss any of those. On behalf of SJ, on behalf of Rush, my name has been Patrick Coleman, a.k.a. Rekus, And we have been your hosts and commentators through tonight, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.